Hey everybody, how you doing? It's your girl Emma D here, thinking thoughts about things with Miss Pika P. How you doing, Pika? So today's thoughts are a continuation of the thought train that we've been on for a while with Miss Caroline Ellison and Sam Bankman-Fried, the whole FTX. I made a video. It's got great traction. You guys have been amazing. If you haven't watched that, stop and watch it now, or like watch it after you watch this, and then you can like reverse engineer your thoughts. That's kind of fun too. But yeah, it was great. You guys, like, you're fabulous. You left comments, you talked to me, you said things that made me think thoughts about things. So that's what this is all about. We're gonna continue the thought train. So in the comments there was like two schools of thought that came out of this, and there was that, like, I didn't consider her predicament and I was being harsh. Like, that is fair, because I can see in looking at the whole situation, right, how historically men have maybe used daughters in ways to suit political and other needs and alliances. And I do see how she was, surrounded by a lot of very, very powerful men. Her Sam, father connections, all the things. I can absolutely see that she was, there's a space to say she was manipulated in all of this, and potentially go as far as to say some victimhood in it even. I don't know, because that part hasn't come out yet, but I will give credit to that thought. However, I'm giving credit to other lines of thought, and I haven't settled on that one. So now that I'm not cold-hearted, I do see that maybe she was just a pawn in all of this. That's a possibility. I'm just here to think thoughts about other considerations, and it sounds like you guys are too. So the other group is the one that kind of gets me thinking thoughts, and that was like the hey, good points, I didn't consider this, that I didn't consider her playing this for fun reasons, right? That's what really, I like it. So it's getting things like her hair, or her voice, or the things she's saying. Obviously that's the one. She just sounds ridiculous, and like, who would listen to this girl? Like, everyone. And even look at the news, look at Kevin O'Leary, look at all the things they're talking about. Everyone, where's Sam, where's this, where's that? No one cares about Caroline. She's just doop doop doop. So that's interesting. That's a thought. But yeah, so I was like, let's look at that, because people are talking about everything, right? Like the Sam Bankman-Frieds and the FTX and the FTP, and you got the CZ out here with the Binance, and then you got the BitBoy. We talked about BitBoy, and he was saying that CZ just like found this thing out, right? Like, BitBoy had been building his case, and other people had been working at trying to get over on SBF, but CZ just like found something randomly that, like, he apparently stumbled upon, and we don't even know what that thing is. Other people have alluded to whatever this thing is. He found a loophole of some kind that he exploited, is what it is. But he stumbled upon information, and like, hey, I'd like to know where that came from. I wonder if Miss Ellison had anything to do with that, because that seems kind of like a fun thing that could have happened in there. A movie would, so if someone writes a script, maybe they could think about that, like, even if it didn't happen that way, whatever. But I do want to talk about Miss Caroline a little more, because we seem to be interested. I'm interested, and you guys are interested. So, okay, so she's 27. She went to Stanford. She has a bachelor's in mathematics. So she knows some things, right? Like, so let's think about, like, they're in the top in the valley, girl. I'm like, I don't even believe in stop losses. Yeah, that's, yeah, okay. Yeah, you gotta be at Stanford with that game. Sure you do. All right, but because we talked the other day about apples not falling far from trees, and like, the information you grow up around, that's what you know, right? Like, that's what you know. So I've heard what you're trying to tell me, but I want to know what you're about, right? So I looked it up. We're going to talk about it a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm going to read a little bit of things to you, because I don't want to get it wrong. My apologies. But her father, we're going to talk about him real quick, because, why not? Glenn Ellison. And he's the connection to the Gary, and, all the political side of the whatever. So, Glenn Ellison is the Gregory K. Palm Professor of Economics at MIT. Ellison received his BA in mathematics from Harvard College and completed his PhD in economics at MIT in 1992. Okay. Ellison's research interests include game theory, industrial organization, learning, large populations and spatial models, technology adaptation, geographic concentration of industries, and mutual funds. These are fun concepts that were discussed around the dinner table when Miss Caroline here was growing up. But what did her mom talk about? Because maybe she didn't know much. Like, no one's really talking about her mom, so she could have just been Miss Betty Homemaker. But she wasn't. But she wasn't. She also had thoughts about things. These are people that think about stuff. So let's just remember that. So Miss Sarah Fisher Ellison is currently the senior lecturer in the MIT Department of Economics. They know money. These people know money. But she doesn't know about like stop loss and no time for risk mitigation. Okay, anyways. Miss Sarah Fisher has spent most of her career at MIT, but she also held visiting positions at institutions such as the Center for Economic Studies in Munich, the Institute for Advanced Studies in Princeton, the Hoover Institute, the National Bureau of Economics Research, and the Paris School of Economics. Her research has investigated a number of questions in industrial organization with a focus on the pharmaceutical industry and e-commerce. Her work on the pharmaceutical industry has been wide-ranging, addressing issues such as the characteristics of demand for similar products, the political economy of pharmaceutical pricing, and the strategy behavior of pharmaceutical economics. In work joint with Christopher Snide, Dr. Ellison empirically investigated the origins of countervailing power using data from the pharmaceutical industry. They test conclusion models and bargaining models of buying size effective and find that their empirical studies by buying size effects only emerge when buyers can readily threaten the substitute away from a purchase. So market economics, essentially. In e-commerce, her best-known research involves the study of search and obfuscation. That's literally hiding stuff. If you guys don't, that's literally like obfuscate the truth. It literally says this. I'm going to link it. This is great. Oh, study of search and obfuscation. Her and her co-author, Glenn Ellison, have found evidence that internet technologies once believed to primarily air consumers by making price search much easier can actually serve the interests of retailers as well by making age-old obfuscation strategies easier and cheaper to implement. She also has worked on the sugar industry as well as methodically contributing to the finance and econometrics. That's a fun word. Sorry, I hadn't seen that. Ellison is the faculty director at the department's DEDP, MicroMaster and Master programs. She's an award-winning MOOC in the MicroMasters on data analysis for social science and has attracted over 100,000 learners. In addition, she still enjoys the challenges of teaching at MIT undergrads and is currently one of the 2 instructors of the introductory microeconomics course. She also teaches and advises PhD students in industrial organization. She currently serves on the editorial board of the 3 industrial organizational journals and has been an associate editor in some cool stuff. Finally, she has consulting experience providing litigation support and management guidance, getting sued for obfuscating truths. So I want to know what kind of conversations were going on at this dinner table. I would have been having some fun thoughts about things living at that household too, but she don't know stuff, right? Like, there's just this ignorance to all the things, then it's running away and no one's looking in Caroline's direction. And I just want everybody out there who is also thinking about that to know that, we can think it together. That's okay. So, maybe we're just still thinking, right? We don't know. We don't, all the chips haven't fallen. Maybe she was fully complicit in all of this. And maybe she was like this victim to the patriarch, just being master manipulated and then thrown into orgies by all the men around her. And it was just the victim. That could very well be. I mean, maybe she's the mastermind that like implanted some information that got this whole thing a tumbling. I don't know, but I know she has a role. And the fact that we're out here acting like she doesn't have a role has me asking even more thoughts, thinking more. So I see you, Caroline. Whatever you did, whatever you're doing, I still see you. Everyone can look everywhere else. I'm looking at you. I'm not fooled. And for everyone out there that's also not fooled and looking to ride this crazy train with me, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Like, that's the fun one, right? Because then I think thoughts. We can think more thoughts about this. Because, it's fun to think about what's really going on here, especially, when certain players of the game are being pushed so hard at us. I think it's fun to watch the circus show on the other side. So I don't know. Part 2. There might be a part 3 if you guys are so inclined. Let me know. We can keep thinking thoughts, or not, or I can just go away. So Amadea,